All right, George Rose, Paulo Aokuso, Renold, Quinlan, fight weeks here. Thoughts on this one?
It's a amazing fight. It's one that I'm really excited about being able to get on here, headlining on our No Limit on Fox show, because it's a hell of a fight. It's a hell of a fight. I mean, Paulo has always wanted tough fights, and the funny thing I think with him is that he's because he wanted to go straight to the top, he skipped all of these domestic options. But when you're looking at the top line domestic options, Renold Quinlan's one of those. Former world champion. His resume speaks for himself, and he's one of the most dangerous guys in Australian boxing, in my opinion. When Renold Quinlan's on, I don't think there's many people in Australia who can go with him. So we're going to find out on Wednesday night, how that sort of test is going to be for Sweet Pea.
He seems extremely calm. Are you concerned at all that Quinlan might get the upset here?
Well, I think my concern is that he looks so good right now, and like everyone keeps talking about it, is that when Renold's on, he's the best out there, but quite often, he doesn't come in fully prepared for a fight. And to see him here today, he looks lean, he looks focused, and he's taken this fight a little bit personally. He's been called out, and for a guy with his resume, it's really got him switched on. And that's when I'm the most scared, is Renold being switched on and ready, and that's where he is right now. But I think it's going to make for a really good fight, especially for Paulo, because he needs hard fights. He needs to be tested, and that's how he's going to keep getting better and better. And honestly, there's no better person to test him here in Australia than Renold.
And Paulo wants to fast track towards that world title. I guess what's the sort of game plan there, and if he does beat Quinlan, what are the next steps to get there?
Well, look, that puts him another step closer. So getting that win, it's another win on his record, undefeated record. He's now got a couple more fights under his belt, so it's going to make it a lot easier to be able to push for him to get that world title shot that he's craving. So big name for his resume, and it's only going to help him.
Now, Jack Brubaker, Troy O'Malley, the winner says they want Nikita Tszyu. Thoughts on that?
It was interesting. I mean, it's I was actually excited about the fight. I think Jack and Troy is a really good fight. Jack coming back after a big layoff, so entertaining. It's good to have him back in the sport, around the sport. A lot of people do talk about him, so for him to be back fighting again is really good. And Troy O'Malley, tough guy. He's really pushed some of the best guys in the division, and the super welterweight division here in Australia is one of our most stacked divisions, I think, with talent. There's so much good talent in that division, and Nikita's climbing. Nikita needs an experienced opponent for his next fight, so the cards have aligned, or whatever's happened is it's going to work out for a really good matchup for Nikita. I think either one of these guys is a really tough fight for him, and you want an experienced guy, that'll work. So when guys are calling out other people, it makes my job really easy, because all I've got to do is call the other end and make it happen, and I know Nikita's not going to say no to anyone.
And this is the first No Limit on Fox show. There's a few coming up. I guess what's the game plan moving forward with these shows?
Well, I mean, the game plan is you look at the talent that we've got on there. We've got headline guys who you usually see on pay-per-views. Guys like Paulo, guys like Isaac Hardman, and other guys like that who are usually on pay-per-views. So they're here headlining their own Fox shows, which I think is a credit to them too. But outside of that, we get to see some of our best next talent that's coming through. Guys like Huey Deeb, who has been really active here in Australia, 19-0, got a great record. He's probably one of the top three guys in that division, against Miles Zalewski, who has had trouble finding fights, and to match these two guys, I think it's going to be a really good fight. So we're going to be able to see fights like this, where there's the next batch of Australian stars in the making there to get their opportunity to push on to a bigger show. And then outside of that, we've got some other fun, exciting fighters. You know, a guy like Isaiah Sate, who's he's going to open this show on Wednesday night, and he has not been in a boring fight yet. He's had some very hard fights, but has not been in a boring fight. So guys like that, you know, they'll be coming through on this platform, and we just want to keep building that next crop of Australian fighters and let the Australian public meet them, let them get to know them, and you know, hopefully keep getting behind them for the rest of their career.
And that moves into the main event pay-per-view on August 23rd. When can we expect to see some opponents for Liam Wilson and Nikita Tszyu?
Yeah, look, we're hoping to announce that pretty soon. So obviously we wanted to get this one going, get the next few weeks, the No Limit on Fox shows going, and we'll announce some opponents for the boys who will have some really tough fights, you know. So it'll make for a great pay-per-view here in Sydney, and I'm looking forward to being able to share that with you, but I'm not going to jump the gun just yet.
Now, I guess the big news of the past few weeks is Tszyu, Jamil Charlo. We haven't had a chance to catch up since the news broke. I guess, what was your reaction to that whole situation?
Yeah, look, I was spewing. You know, everyone was spewing that it's not going to be the next fight. But, you know, I guess it is what it is. We knew that it was a chance. We knew that it was a chance of happening, and then, when it happened at the 11th hour, you know, it was a huge opportunity for Jamil Charlo. You know, no one's going to knock him for that. Big money, big opportunity, a chance to beat Canelo, like get in the ring with Canelo and have a shot. So, I understand that completely, and I just know though that off the back of Tim's last two performances, I know he's ready to beat Charlo. I know he's ready to beat Charlo, and that's why that was the disappointing part for me, is that I know come September he was going to finish Charlo, take them 4 belts, and move on to be Mr. Undisputed. But it is what it is. Things happen, and we move on to the next. Now we'll get to see more Tim Tszyu, fortunately enough. So we'll be locking away a fight for him very soon, and we'll be able to announce that. And it'll be another big show for him, whether it's here or overseas. We'll get to see more Tim Tszyu.
Have you had any clarity around the title situation with the WBO?
Not yet, not confirmed yet. But again, Tim wants to fight and be the not the interim champion, the outright champion. So, we really want to make that happen too. So, Tim's next fight will hopefully be for the full belt.
And I guess, what's the sort of broader look for you? Who are you looking to headline some of those main event cards? Is it Nikita? Is it Tim? Liam Wilson? Maybe Sammy Goodman also?
Absolutely. I guess we'll find out once we see how Liam and Nikita go. August 23rd, we've got the double header there, so they've been the guys who have been coming up. They've been coming up on the No Limit on Fox shows. They've been coming up on the undercards. They've been showcasing what they can do, and now they're at that point in their career where they are ready to headline. They've got great support base around them. Sammy Goodman, another one. He's on the doorstep of a world title, so he's another guy who's ready to go as well. So, and it's good, because we've been watching their careers build over the last few years, and it's been very exciting, I think, for all of us to be able to watch and see where they're headed. Towards the back end of this year, going into next year, we're going to have more headliners that we can follow.
Thanks, Georgie.
Thank you very much.